If the international system is anarchic and power-driven, as realists argue, then why do states cooperate so often? Why do they sign trade agreements, join international organizations, and resolve disputes through negotiation instead of constant war? Why has the European Union transformed former rivals into deeply integrated partners? Liberalism and later neoliberal institutionalism begin with this puzzle. Despite anarchy, cooperation is not only possible, it is frequent. Classical liberalism argues that international politics is not shaped solely by power and fear, but also by domestic politics, economic interdependence, and institutions. Democracies, for example, tend not to go to war with one another, a concept known as the democratic peace theory. The relationship between Germany and France illustrates this shift. After centuries of conflict, including 2 world wars, both countries became central pillars of the European Union. Liberal thinkers argue that shared democratic values, economic ties, and institutional integration reduced incentives for conflict. Cooperation was not naive idealism, it became rational. Economic interdependence is another pillar of liberal thought. When states are deeply connected through trade and supply chains, the cost of war increases. The US and China, despite strategic rivalry, remain economically intertwined. Bilateral trade reaches hundreds of billions of dollars annually. Even during trade wars and tariff disputes, neither side fully disengages because economic disruption be costly. Liberalism argues that globalization creates incentives for stability. States that benefit from open markets are less likely to destabilize the system that sustains them. Neoliberal institutionalism, associated with scholars like Robert Keohane, builds on this foundation but accepts the realist premise of anarchy. It does not deny power politics. Instead, it argues that institutions help manage anarchy. International organizations such as the United Nations, the World Trade Organization, and the International Monetary Fund create rules, reduce uncertainty, and provide mechanisms for dispute resolution. For example, WTO panels adjudicate trade conflicts, allowing states to resolve disputes through legal channels rather than retaliation. Institutions lower transaction costs and increase transparency, making cooperation more sustainable. Climate diplomacy offers a contemporary example. The Paris Agreement does not eliminate national interests, but it creates a framework where states coordinate environmental policy. Even rival powers participate because climate change affects all actors. Similarly, during the COVID-19 pandemic, global coordination through organizations like the World Health Organization facilitated information sharing. Liberalism argues that even in an anarchic system, repeated interaction and shared challenges incentivize collaboration. Liberalism and neoliberal institutionalism challenge the idea that conflict is inevitable. They acknowledge anarchy, but argue that interdependence, democracy, and institutions mitigate insecurity. Cooperation is not accidental. It is structured through incentives and rules. While realism explains competition, liberalism explains why cooperation persists despite rivalry. And now that you understand how institutions and interdependence shape state behavior, the next step is to explore a theory that shifts focus even further toward identity, norms, and ideas. Constructivism in international relations.